Okay, let's get started.
Okay, so I'm gonna come out from here now.
Okay, now what we will be doing today, we will be going through our algebra worksheet number 2, and we will be doing a quiz on inequalities, and you'll do that during the session. It's only 6 questions, and I think I put a bonus, a 7th one. Okay, so let's get started. Let me share my screen and bring up our worksheet. Okay, and we're starting with, I think it's 20, wasn't it 20 was your assignment? Okay. Does everybody see the screen? Yes? Does everybody see the screen? Mercedes, you see the screen? Mercedes? Maureen, do you see the screen?
Yeah.
What does it say at the top?
Yes,
It's
I can see
college
them.
algebra.
I don't,
College algebra number 4.
College algebra number 4.
We didn't do that.
Probs 20 to 25.
2025, 4, 8, 21. No, we went through 19. We went through 18 and 19. Maureen, remember 18 where we had the children, the seniors, the adults, the tickets? Maureen,
No, we didn't do that.
you don't remember doing 18?
We see.
We did 18A. That was your homework to do D, and we went through it. 18A, B, C, and D.
I
And
don't think so.
I sent you the session. You look back through your email, I sent you the session. So we start with 20, we have 20 through 25.
Mm-mm.
Maureen, you don't remember 18 that had A, B, C, D parts that dealt with the tickets sold to children, adults, seniors? Maureen?
No.
Well, I sent it to you. We did it. In fact, we went through it twice. Okay, if you look back through the sessions that I sent to you, you'll see 18, A, B, C, and D, and you will see 19. So we'll do 20. And if I check back and I didn't send it to you, I'll send it again. 18 and 19, okay? Now, Maureen, read number 20.
Lindsay invests 10,000, part of 3%, and the rest at 2.5% is an interest-bearing account. The total yearly investment income interest is $283. What set of equations can be used to find how much she invests at each rate?
Okay, now, $10,000 is the total amount she invested in 2 different accounts, right? One had 3%, so this right here is important, okay?
Oh, because you didn't send me that, because I got that, because that is like, this you say, this you don't hear now, you give me algebra, but not college algebra.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry.
That's the wrong one, yeah.
I'm sorry, you're right, Maureen.
Yeah.
That's for my next section. This is...
That'd be next section that I was watching it last night.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is the one that I should be on, okay? I apologize. That's really for my next section, the college prep class. Okay, this is yours. TASC Math Algebra Worksheet number 2.
Algebra.
Mm-hmm.
Right, does everyone see that new screen?
Yeah.
What does it say?
Yes, I do.
You see it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Number
Okay.
6.
What does it say, Mercedes, at the top?
It's a task math algebra worksheet number 2.
Yes, okay, for
04 dash
8/20/21, and that's today's date. That's the one we
21.
should be on. I apologize. I was on the, Maureen, you're exactly right. I was on the wrong sheet. I was on the college prep assignment. Now,
I was listening.
I was
I
ready.
was listening to you last day
I'm sorry,
when he
Maureen.
was doing that. I said he was listening to you last time he was doing it because he's Audrey and them.
Yes, that was for the college prep class, which is a different class. But they're on algebra too. They're
Yeah.
doing algebra. You're going through various subjects, include the algebra, number, and quantity, etc. But we're doing all algebra on the college prep. Okay, Mercedes, read number 6.
Okay, it says the number of calories burnt while dragging varies directly with the number of minutes spent dragging. If George burns 150 calories by dragging for 20 minutes, how many calories does he burn by dragging 30 minutes? He burn 150.
Okay. Now, do you see something here that we've gone over before that you can solve this problem doing? We call it what? Ratio proportion? Right?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
ratio is really just a multiplication, like one value compared to the other. It's multiplication. Proportion is setting two ratios equal. All right. So, Mercedes, what will be one of my ratios in this problem?
For the minutes, 10.
A ratio is a fraction, which means a numerator over denominator, or a quantity colon another quantity. You know, with ratios, you can express them as like A colon B. Okay, let's just make this consistent, the little a. Or we could say what? A over B. Or we could say A to B. That's a ratio. That's 3 ways you can do a ratio.
Okay.
A to B,
Oh, I forgot about
A
the symbol.
divided by B, and A to B. Okay. Now the proportion is when you take 2 ratios and set them equal to each other. My question to you, in this problem, what is one of the ratios? Give me a ratio from this problem.
In this problem, what is what, miss? I didn't get you.
What
The
is a
voice keep
rate?
dropping out.
What is a, okay. Can you hear me now? Mercedes, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My question is, in this problem, give me one of the ratios.
10. Or should I just say like 10/20?
No, in this problem, that means you've got to use numbers to end the problem. In this problem number 6, there are 2 ratios. Give me one of them.
150?
Okay, 150.
Maybe I don't understand.
No, 150 calories. Now we're going to write this as a fraction. So this will be over what number? I'll say these 150 calories for how
This will
many?
be over 20?
Yes, 150 calories for 20 minutes. So this would be
Oh,
20
over-
minutes. Okay. Let me just spell it out. MINU TES, because it's important to have your units. So one of your ratios is 150 calories for 20 minutes. And that's equal, because when we set them equal, it's called a proportion. So we'll say equal. Now, what's another ratio? Mercedes, what's another ratio?
30. No, I have to find the answer for that.
Now, what's the calories in your second ratio?
I'd have to, let me see. 250, 225.
No. You're looking here. I want to know what is the number of calories in your second ratio. And the second ratio is for 30 minutes. So that's what you're looking for, right? That's your unknown. How many calories does he burn by jogging for 30 minutes? So we can call that N or X or A or B, okay? So this N is, we're letting the N be the number of calories he burned by jogging for 30 minutes. So this would be over what, Mercedes? What would that be over? We divide that by what? N would be over how many minutes?
Divide over 30.
That's
over
right.
30.
Very good. 30 minutes. So this would be 30 minutes, right? So now this is our proportion setup for this problem. Okay. Let's see, let's just bring that closer. Okay. Now, Mercedes, do you know what next step we would do? What would be our next step? We want to solve for N. What's the next step?
Yeah. We're going to divide on both sides.
No. Whenever you have a ratio, and that's like a fraction equal to a fraction.
Yes.
150 to 120 is the ratio, and the 30 is a ratio. Whenever you set it up and whenever you set it up as a proportion, you can cross multiply. Remember? Let's say these. You can cross multiply, which means you can multiply 150 by 30, and you can multiply 20
I'm sorry, but
times 10.
Your voice keeps chipping away. Sorry. I would say you. Okay, so cross multiply.
Yes. Can you hear me now? Okay. How about my microphone?
Your voice
It's still
chipping away.
Can you hear me now?
A little better. It's just like when you're talking to fear, anybody's device will cause an obstruction. If you're still talking, I can't hear you at all. Can you hear me, Miss Barbara? You're cut off altogether a while ago.
I could hear you.
Mercedes? I can't hear anybody.
I can hear you, Miss Barbara.
Okay, you can hear me very good,
Yeah,
Maureen?
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Mercedes, can you hear me?
I can
Well, your voice is
now.
going
Now I
out.
can hear you.
You can hear me because your voice was
Now I
breaking
can
up.
hear you.
I don't
I don't know
know.
what.
Must be from your end because your voice is
I
breaking
can
up.
hear you very well now.
Okay, because you weren't hearing me before.
No,
I mean,
your voice
I
is
wasn't
breaking
hearing.
now. It's clear, but I don't know what's happening.
Okay, because yours was breaking up. Maureen can hear me. Okay,
You
Maureen,
were.
you hear me?
I
Oh,
wasn't hearing you
Yeah.
before.
okay, Mercedes, cross multiply these numbers. What do we get? What does it look like? Cross multiply 30 times 150, 20 times 10.
4500.
No, just cross multiply. We'll figure it out later. What I want you to put is 30. Well, let's do the 20
Okay,
times
that's
n. 20
times
times,
150.
no, 20 is time n. Cross, see, cross.
Yes.
So that would be 20
Yeah. I
n
got
times what? 20 n, and that would be 20 n, 20 times n, actually it's 20 n. Well, let me just put the for multiplication. That will be equal to 30 times 150.
equal
Okay,
to
okay. Now, what's 20 times n, Mercedes? What is that equal to?
20n.
That's it. Very good. 20n. And what's 30 times 150?
That's 4500.
Right, 4,500.
4500.
Right, okay. Now,
So
what
30
is,
times 150.
that's right. Now, what's the
Yeah.
next step? What's my next step? I'm solving for n, Mercedes. What's the next step?
Divide 400 4500 by 20n.
Oh, divide both sides by 20. Not 20n, because you're looking for n, you want n
20n.
left, right?
Yeah.
So you will divide both
So 20, yes.
sides by 20, right? Now, if you do that, let's just copy that and then do our division. Okay.
Slash.
Okay, so this would be divided by 20. And on the right side, also divided by 20. So we put our 20. And what do we get on the left side, Mercedes? When we divide this, what do we get?
You get 225
Left side.
when you divide
No,
oh,
what do
sorry.
I get on the left side? 20n divided by 20
The left
equal
side
what?
0 slash
What do I
zero.
get?
N,
Mercedes?
just
N, just n,
equal.
because 20 over
N,
20 is
nothing.
1, right?
N,
So
just n.
1n, which is equal to,
Yes, yes, that's what.
yeah. So let's just put the small n to be
225.
consistent. And that would be equal 4,500 divided by 20 would be 225. So what is your
You
answer?
get 225.
So what is your answer,
225.
Mercedes?
D. D.
Answer D as in dog. Okay, so that's your answer. How many calories does he burn by jogging for 30 minutes? 225. Important thing for a ratio, keep your units consistent. In other words, if it's calories, minutes, or if it's minutes, then it would be the corresponding calories. Okay. And then you can cross multiply and then just solve it algebraically for the answer. And the answer is D, 225. Any questions on number 6? Mercedes, you okay with number 6?
No, miss.
Okay.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Maureen, you okay?
Yeah.
So you ready to do the next one, right? Right, Maureen?
Yeah.
Number
Okay.
7. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Maureen, let's do number 7. Now, number 7, you can actually do 2 ways, but we will do it
Sandwich.
the shortcut way. In other words, this is really a probability. And if you know values for more than one type item, you get the different combinations by multiplying each of the values that are given. So you have 5 types of cheese, 2 condiments, and 3 bread choices. So what do you do, Maureen? What do you do to
You
solve this?
multiply 5 by 2 and 5 by 2 by 3.
Okay, so, and Maureen is exactly right, because to get the number of different sandwiches you can make, you take all the numbers that are given for each item that makes up the sandwich, the cheese, the condiments, and the bread, and that would be the 5 times the 2 times the 3 would give you 30. And this works for all type problems where you're given more than one item. The total is equal to the product of all the items. Okay. Now, there's another way to work this out that's longer, and we'll look at it, but I want you to really understand it. We call it a tree structure. So this one, we'll just say, okay, the answer is D, and that's 5 times 2 times 3 equal 30. So whenever you are trying to find all the different things that can be made up given more than one choice, you just multiply the value of each choice by each other. Okay. For instance, if you had a meal, now let's just take it with an example. Suppose you had a meal and you had 3 entrees and you had 2 beverages and 4 desserts. How many combinations could you have here, Mercedes? Mercedes, you're on mute. Mercedes,
I'm sorry. Yes, I can hear you.
how
How
many
much?
combination of meals could you have if you had 3 entrees, 2 beverages, and 4 desserts? How many
You
meal
saying how many meals
combinations?
out of those?
How many meal combinations could you make out of 3 entrees, 2 beverages, and 4 desserts? How many? Mercedes? Mercedes?
I don't think I understand. Maybe.
How many?
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
5?
No, remember I said when you have uh, items
on-
and each one are given, you multiply each item number
Oh,
and you get the total. So this would be what?
okay. Okay.
3.
24 minutes. 24?
Yes, that's right. Very good. 3 times 2 times 4, which is 6 times 4 and equal to 24.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Miss, please, can you go back again? Let me understand what the writing is saying. When you say one dimension and one bread choice.
Yeah. Oh, back up here. You had, okay. You had,
Oh, you're fitting the numbers to it to get 30. That's, I don't understand a little. Okay. Five types of
how
cheese.
many different sandwiches consisting of 1 type of cheese, 1 condiment, and 1 bread choice can you prepare if you have 5 types of cheese, 2 condiments, and 3 bread choices? And the product of all
Oh.
these numbers would give you the different sandwiches you can make. And this is 5 times 2 times 3 gives you 30. And then
Okay.
okay, then
So
I
that
gave,
means it can make,
go ahead. You can make 30 different sandwiches.
that means it can make 30 times. Oh, got you.
Okay, so you can make 30 different
Got you.
sandwiches. Now each sandwich would just have 1 type of cheese, 1 condiment, and 1 bread choice. And it's always
Okay.
the number that you can make, the possibilities. This is the probability type problem. The possible
5 types.
types you could make, taking
So,
1 of each would be 5 times 2 times 3. Just like the number of meals you could make if you had 3 entrees, 2 beverages, and 4 desserts would be 3 times 2 times 4. You follow? Mercedes?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, now,
Yes, yes, yes. I
okay,
heard you. Yes,
okay,
I follow.
all right. Now, the long way to do this is to use what we call a tree structure. And let's do that. Now, let's go back to our cheeses. And if we draw a tree structure, this is how it would look. We would have, okay, and each one of these would be a cheese type. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's make this, okay, and that's 5. So each one of these 5 here represents the cheese, right? Because we said
Okay.
cheese types. We want to prove with the tree structure that we do have 30, right? That's why I'm doing this. So you can see you
Okay.
have the 30. Okay. Now, each of the cheeses has 2 condiments. So let's put the 2 condiments here. So we have 2 condiments for each cheese, right? So this leg I'm drawing here represents the condiments.
Oh, you can't
2,
go to the store.
Okay.
You hear me, G?
Maureen?
Yes, Miss Barbara.
Oh, okay. So these are the
Yes.
condiments, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So that's the condiments. And I'll just say, okay, condiment. CONDIM. Now, how many bread types are there? Mercedes, how many bread types?
A lot. I remember because I lost the page. I don't see the page you're on now.
Maureen, how many bread types? Weren't there
There's
3?
3, yeah.
Yeah, there were 3 bread types. So now you put the bread types on each one
Okay.
of the condiments. So you'd have 1, 2, 3. All right, so you're going to put this on each one of the condiments. Each one of the condiments have 3. They're now linked to 3 bread choices. So we'll put this on each one. And then I
Okay.
want you to count them up and tell me how many combinations do you have. It's to count up all those ones, this last one I'm putting on, right?
Mm.
So when you add them up, tell me how many you have. Okay, when I finish putting them up, okay. These are the bread choices. So notice the hierarchy. I put the cheese, I put the condiments, then I put the bread. Okay, so this last one is the bread choices, right? Bread. Now, Mercedes, how many, if you count up all the 3s at the bottom, how many do you see?
All the breads?
Yes,
I got 30.
that's it. That matches what we had, right? So you can see from
Yeah.
the tree structure that it does work because you have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15,
Mhm.
18, 21, 24, 27, 30. So you have a total of 30 different sandwiches, all right? 30 different
Yeah.
sandwiches from the 5 cheese choices, which was this first branch. Then the 2 branches here represents the condiments, right? And then each condiment has 3 bread choices, and that indeed gives you 30. So you can see it does work. But you don't want to go through this when you have to do a problem of this type. That's why I told you the rule that the possible choices would be the product
Oh,
of all the ones that are given. Okay, you see how that's a lot easier than if you had to draw a tree
okay.
structure for each one. Okay,
Like that.
I just want to make sure you understand the
Yes.
tree structure, and I
Understandable.
want you to see that we do get 30 when we do that. Okay, all right, let's go back to our
Yes. Thank you.
okay, let's go back to our worksheet. Okay, and go to our, that was 7. Now, you know, we started with 6 because the first worksheet was 1 through 5, and we're doing 5 problems per worksheet. So now we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So let's go to 8.
8.
8. Now, 8, I kind of got ahead myself
Okay.
because 8 is an exponential type problem, and we'll get to different kinds of functions when we get to functions. We'll get to the different types, but they are, some of you probably remember though, the linear. You remember linear, straight line, quadratic? It's
Upside
like,
down.
that's right, upside down, U or U. And exponential, I just called it an ellipse. Just to review this, let me go to a new share. Let's go back to our whiteboard and clear this. Okay, now let's draw a coordinate grid. What's on the horizontal? I'll say these X or Y. What's on the
On the
horizontal line?
horizontal,
X or Y?
0,
No, X or Y.
X, or
We
oh,
call this line what? X or Y?
X.
That's right. X is on the horizontal, and we call
X.
this the vertical, right? Okay. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
if we have a line, and our line could be like this, which is decreasing, or it could be like this, increasing, right? That represents the linear factor, okay? or linear function, we can call it. And you remember what that general format, what's the general format of a linear equation, Maureen?
I can't remember.
Y equal what?
Oh, y equal mx plus b.
That's right. Y equal mx plus b. What is m, Mercedes?
M,
M is the slope of the line, how steep it is. M is the slope
oh
of the
yeah,
line, and B
Slope.
is the y-intercept. That's where the y value, where the y is, where the value of the y when x is 0. Okay, and 0 is right here, right in the middle.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have
yes.
y. So if you're given an equation in this form, you can say what the slope is because it's the coefficient in front of the x. Now, when we have this drawing, and this is like this, or
Mhm.
it's like this. What is that called,
That.
Mercedes?
Quadratic,
Quadratic. That's right, a quadratic. And quadratics you can tell because they all have what? They all have,
same shape,
well, the equation.
same equation, yes.
No. What's on the equation tell you it's a quadratic?
The because it come right down in the Y.
No. On the equation you have it's raised to the second power. A linear equation
Oh,
would never have other than a power of 1.
there is one.
Whereas a quadratic will always have a power of 2 as its highest power. And it could be like this, like I said, and I just call it like a U or upside down U. Now, when you get to exponential, they look something like this, okay? Or we can go the other way and go like this. I just call them ellipse. I don't think there's a real name to them. But when you see these, you should be able to distinguish. If you were given a graph and you were given lines and drawings, you should know that the straight line is a linear equation. The one that looked like a U or upside down U
Curve.
is the quadratic. And then the elliptical
Quadri-
type is the exponential, which can be decreasing or increasing.
Increasing.
And the increasing, we
Yeah.
call the
There's a curve.
decreasing what? Decay. And the increasing is called what? What's the increasing called, Maureen?
It's called, increasing is called decay and decrease, decay. The increases the I know the word
Right here, here it is right here, growth and decay. Increasing is called growth and the decreasing is called decay. Now this question that I gave you, this was kind of like I say, getting ahead of ourselves because this is a function type problem, but I'm giving you the formula to solve it. And this is a decay because the car is decreasing in value. So if it's decreasing, it's decay, right? So you buy a car, you bought it for 20,000. It's decreasing at 12% a year. What would be the value of the car after 3 years? Now, the value of the car after 3 years would be the purchase price times 1 minus the interest raised to n,
the
where
power
n
surge.
is the number of years, right?
Yeah.
And the interest is changed to a decimal. That's why we have 1, because we're subtracting 0.12 from it.
Mhm.
Hi guys, I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay,
problem.
that's all right, Chastity.
I can't speak too much.
Okay, that's okay. How's
Sorry.
the therapy going?
Well, good. I'm just heading over there. I have to
Oh,
go see
okay.
the doctor at a certain time, so
Oh,
that's why
okay. All right.
it's going good. Thank you.
Okay. So I put this, I'll send this to you, you'll see this, but don't worry about this too much because like I said, I kind of got ahead of myself. When we get the functions, we'll get more into this and we'll look at examples of the linear, quadratic, and exponential. But I want to give you the formula for solving this problem because you had to multiply the price you paid for it, that's the purchase price. And since it's decreasing, we have 1 minus the 0.12, that's it's decreasing 12% a year, and that gives us 0.88. Raise that to the third power, this raises the third power because the problem said 3 years, right? So the value of the car after 3 years, that's the power we raise that difference to. Okay, and you can check this on your calculator. 0.88 to the third, that means 0.88 times itself 3 times. And if you do that, you should get 13,629.44, which is answer B.
B.
Questions?
No. Land of
Okay.
mercy, you want? Mercy, you want any questions to ask?
Well, don't worry about this so
I don't
much
sure
because
got it clear, but
uh,
I will review it, Miss.
don't worry about this so much, Mercedes, because when we get the functions, we'll get into this. This one kind of like snuck in there, you
Yeah.
know, but just for a learning tool. But
That's okay.
we'll get into that
Yes.
later with more examples. I just want you to see how you would solve it. Okay, I didn't really expect you to
Okay.
solve it because we haven't gone through exponential functions. Okay. All right, let's
Okay.
go to our next problem. Okay, now I want
We're going number
Mercedes.
9.
Number 9, Mercedes, how would we solve number 9? How would you solve
Oh,
it?
let me see.
I started
Julia
you
went.
off with the P is popcorn, C is chocolate chip cookies. Okay, go ahead and read the problem then, Mercedes.
It says Julia. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you fine.
Okay. Julia went to the movies and bought 1 jumbo popcorn and 2 chocolate chips cookies for $5. Marvin went to the same movie and bought 1 jumbo popcorn and 4 chocolate chips for $6. How much does the 1 chocolate chips cookie cost?
Okay.
So
Now, how would you solve that? How would you translate the words to equations?
my talk.
I'll just put Julia. Okay. Tell me
So
how
first
to
you start
write.
with what Julia bought.
Okay, so translate Julia's to the math.
Julia bought one jumbo popcorn is and 2 chips is for $5.
So
2
tell me what that
chips
would
is
look like in math.
So Julia, cookies slash chip is equal to $5.
1 popcorn and 2 chocolate chips for $5. How would I write that as an equation, Mercedes?
I would put N for.
Well, now we've got P
For
for
the
popcorn
first.
and C for chocolate
Yeah.
chip cookies. Use P for popcorn, use C for chocolate chip cookies. Tell me the equation for Julia.
Julia, pop P equal $5. P for popcorn would be, you want me to do the equation that divide it up into?
Now I want you to
for the
tell me
popcorn,
the
chocolate?
equation. Now, when we say bought 1 jumbo popcorn and 2 chocolate chip cookies, that's an add, right? And is an
Yes.
add,
So I would
one
say 3 by
popcorn
2.
and 2 chocolate chip cookies for $5. That's what
So
she
I'm going to
spent.
say, so I'm going to say, P plus C equal $5.
How many chocolate chips cookies did she buy?
She bought 2. No,
So what would that be?
yes.
That would be plus what?
2 plus
Mercedes?
2.
2 what?
No. 2 chips.
So what represents the chips? What variable?
You mean what's the number? I would
know, he
say
said-
2.
No, what variable? Right here. Here are the variables. I say let P equal popcorn.
Okay, okay,
Let C equal chocolate chip.
okay, okay.
So
C,
what would that be?
C, yes,
So what would go
C.
P plus what?
P plus C,
How many C's? How many chocolate chip cookies?
5.
How many?
It would be, let me read it. 2,
So what would I write for 2 chocolate chip cookies?
I would put C2.
Right backward.
No, you put the
Uh,
coefficient in front of the
sure.
variable. So what would it be, Mercedes?
2C.
That's it. Very good. 2C. 2, she bought 1 popcorn, which is P or 1P. 2 chocolate
Yes.
chip cookies would be 2C. And how much did she
2C.
spend for that? Mercedes, how much did she spend?
$5.
So then we say $5,
$5.
right? So that's $5. Okay, now let's go to Marvin, Mercedes. Let's go to Marvin.
Yeah.
Okay,
Marvin did 1 jumbo popcorn.
so he bought
P.
1. That would be P, right? How many chocolate chips?
Plus,
Plus,
two plus, oh, wait, 4C.
that's right, 4C, because he bought 4. And how much did he spend?
$6.
That's it. So that would be equal to $6. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've got our equations, right? We know what Marvin spent, what he bought. We know what Julia spent, what Julia bought. Now, you have 2 equations, 2 unknowns. Mercedes, how do you think we could solve this? What's the easiest way to solve it?
You're going to subtract the 2C from 5 to get the amount of the price for the 1 jumbo popcorn.
Yeah, but you would still have 2
You say 1
unknowns.
jumbo popcorn
But you
would
would
be
still
for
have 2 unknowns, C and P. Now remember, we
amount.
want to get to 1 unknown.
Okay. What that's how much does 1 chocolate chip cost? Cookie cost.
That's what we're looking
So
for.
I
How
think
much
it's
does
gonna
1
divide
chocolate chip
the 2.
cost?
So if we divide 2C in 2, you get 1C each. I may be saying, I'm talking about Julia. So it's 1 for Julia, and so it'll be $1 for 1 chocolate, for 1 of the chocolate chips. Likewise for Marvin. But to
How
do the
how did you
equation,
solve
maybe
it?
I'm saying it wrong. I divide.
Divide what?
2C by 1.
But you still would have C.
1 into 2 is 1.
Yeah, but you still have C and you still have P.
Yes, because
We want
Oh,
one unknown. Now,
Oh,
what, okay, what do you see in common with these two equations? What is alike in these two equations? Exactly alike.
P.
P. So if P is exactly alike in both equations,
P.
then you can subtract one equation from the other and the P is eliminated, right? In other words, let's just take this
Yes.
equation. Okay, let's just take this equation. Okay, and I will put it here, okay, on the other side. Okay, now let's just take this equation and I'll put this on this side. Okay. Okay, now you see, if we subtract one equation from the other, then we'll just have C left, right? Because this is a subtraction. Okay, this is a subtraction. I'm subtracting this equation. Move this over and put a subtraction sign in front of it so you know we're subtracting. Okay, this is a subtraction. Okay. Now, what's P minus P? I'll say these.
I'll say 0.
0. So this is 0. Okay, so let's just put the 0 here. Okay, 0. What's 4C minus 2C?
That would be 2C.
That's right, 2C. Now, what's 6 minus 5?
That would be 1.
That would be $1, right? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so now you see, just line this up. Okay, so now we have what? And 0 plus 2C is just 2C, correct? This is not a comma here, it's a decimal point.
You can't get back yet?
When you're talking, Maureen, go to mute.
Sorry.
Okay, so we have 2C equal to $1, right? Decimal.
Okay.
So if 2C is equal to $1, Mercedes, what is C equal to?
If 2C equal to
What is-
dollar,
Yeah, what is C equal to?
1.
No. If 2C equal $1, what is C
C.
equal to? To solve this for C, Mercedes, we divide by 2,
C.
right? Divide both sides by 2.
Yeah.
Now, I'll just put this here and then you tell me what the answer is. Okay, we're going to divide both sides by 2. So I'll just copy that over again and put the division. Okay, now we'll divide this by 2. So, and we divide the right side by 2. So we have 2. And we have 2. So what do we get on the left side, Mercedes? What's 2C divided by 2?
0.
No, 2C divided by 2?
0.
No, what's 2 divided by 2?
It's 1.
So it's
One.
1C, right? It's just 1C
Yes.
or C. And what's $1 divided by 2?
1.
No, what's half of $1?
Off. Quarter. Sorry.
No,
quarter.
what's half of
50 cents.
$1?
Is that 50 cents?
50 cents. Thank you.
I'm like over here
Good,
talking while
Captain.
I'm driving. I was like, wait, I think it's 50 cents.
Yeah, half
I'm
of
not-
$1 is 50 cents.
I know, but I was just thinking, I'm not thinking of
Wait.
the dollar, I'm thinking of,
That's why I
something
went
like.
to money, because
I
money is
know it's
something.
50 cents.
No,
I know
I know,
it's
I
50
know how you
cents
feel.
of
I
a
know
dollar.
exactly how you feel because
Yes,
it's like a
yes.
puzzle. And okay, this is the right piece.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
okay, no, this is not the right. It's okay. It's okay to feel
That's
that way.
all right. That's
I
okay. It certainly is
know
okay. It's
Right.
the
50 cents
matter
of a
of
dollar, but I'm
understanding. That's why I went to money, because money is usually a pretty easy concept for people to understand. Because you say
Yes.
half of a dollar is 50 cents, a fourth of a dollar is a quarter, which is 25 cents. So half of that dollar is 50 cents. So what's the
it's
answer,
50 cents.
Mercedes? What's the
So
answer?
the answer is
50 cents.
A.
No.
Answer A. That's right, because that's 50 cents.
So,
So one
so
chocolate
yeah,
chip cookie costs 50 cents. Maureen, you had a question?
Uh-uh.
Anybody question?
Miss, that's looking at the reading and thinking, how comes it's a
I
50?
just
I thought it was
listen.
a dollar.
Wait a minute, Maureen. Mercedes is talking. What were you saying, Mercedes?
Because look at this, miss. I was thinking this was a dollar. Like when I read for Julia, and she said she bought one jumbo popcorn and two chocolate chips to $5. I'm thinking the two chocolate chips would be $2, $1 each, making $2. That's why I was checking in my head. But it seems like the jumbo popcorn is more money, more than what I think.
Yes, you're right. Because if you put two chocolate chip cookies that Julia
For
bought, that would be what, a dollar. That means $4 was the jumbo popcorn. Well, popcorn is not cheap in a movie.
Oh,
No, it's not. That's why sometimes people take a plastic, bag and take their own
yeah,
refreshments, because they
popcorn. Yeah.
cost. I mean, they cost in a movie because they had to make money on the concession. All right.
Yep.
So Marvin spent, he bought four chocolate chips. That would be $2, right? And he spent six, and two from
Yes.
six, that's $4. So you see, it's correct. Either way you go, you get $4 for the popcorn. So you could check it. You could plug in your 50 cent, see what the popcorn costs. It should cost the same whether Julia bought it or whether
So
Marvin bought it. Now,
yeah,
Sadie's
so
question.
for Julia, her popcorn would be $4 while the two chips is for a dollar.
That's
Got it.
right. And what about Marvin? What is his
Actually,
for
almost
cookies?
the same.
So what is
It's for
Marvin
it's
for
for
cookies?
it's for what?
Four
Oh, there's
cookies would
one
cost what?
for $2.
Right. And two from six is what, Mercedes?
Four.
So he spent $4 too. So the jumbo
Yeah.
popcorn cost, and it should. If it didn't, there's a problem, right? A problem in
Okay.
the solution. So regardless of which one you use, Julia or Marvin, the popcorn costs $4. But what they
Okay.
ask you, how much does one chocolate chip cookie cost? One chocolate chip cookie costs 50 cents. Questions? Okay,
Thank
let's
you.
go to number 10. Okay, you're welcome. Let's go to number 10. Okay, Maureen,
Yeah.
Can't
number
see them.
10. I'm
Okay.
bringing it up.
Josh, I may wear
Could
a come
could you take it up?
session.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm bringing it. Okay,
Okay.
let me go to, I'm bringing it up.
Yes, I can see it now.
All right, okay. Okay. Maureen, read number 10.
Josh, I may wear a concessional stand. They each earn $8 per hour. Josh worked 3 hours more than me. If Josh and May earn a total of $120, how many hours did Josh work?
So, Maureen, how would you solve this?
I thought you, I give Mercy a chance to solve it. Cause we done it already. But so she couldn't
124.
solve it.
Maureen,
Mercy,
Maureen, I'm asking you to solve
uh,
it.
okay.
Don't try to
Okay.
put it on Mercedes. I'm asking you to
But,
solve it.
but yeah,
She just solved the other one.
yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, I solved that already too. It said let
Well,
it,
since you solved
yeah,
it already, you should be
yeah.
able to
Uh,
tell Mercedes how to solve it, right?
No, I want to know if she was able to solve it.
Maureen, I want you to solve it. Just get started. Tell
Okay, I
me
can
what
do
to
as
do
far as
first.
I got to do further. You got to put let J for Josh, right?
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
So she's setting up her variables. Let J
okay.
equal Josh. And what about May?
N for me,
Let M
D for
equal
me.
May. Okay, so she set up her variables. All right. Now what do we do next?
I'm figuring it from my brain because I didn't write it down. I,
Okay, well,
I only write down part.
let's go brain then.
I can tell you, I can know as far as I write down. Let me put James plus J plus M equals 120.
Okay, so it said they earned a total of 120. So
Uh,
then she translated that to an equation, J plus M equal 120. Okay, what else, Maureen?
okay, so then we write J minus M plus 3.
They each 8
How
hours.
did you write Josh worked 3 hours more than May?
I write J
Okay,
minus more plus 3.
J equal 1.
No, I put J. I put J minus M plus 3, which is the hours.
No, I want you to tell me how to write Josh worked 3 hours more than May. How do you write that? 3 hours more is a plus. So how do
Yeah.
you write Josh worked 3 hours more than May? What would that be? Josh would be equal to what?
The May
May what?
plus 3.
That's it. Very good, Maureen. So Mercedes, you following? She translated Josh worked three
Yes.
hours more than May to say Josh equals 3 hours plus May hours. Okay. All right. What's your next step,
Oh.
Maureen?
And that's as far as I can remember.
What's the next step?
Okay, let me see.
Now, the 120 comes from number of hours times the pay, right? And they both earn $8 an hour. So how would you translate hours times pay per hours? What would that look like?
Okay, let me see.
Now, you were saying before J equals M plus 3. What is M equal to? Because remember, we're looking for J hours. So what is M equal to? If J equal M plus 3, what is M equal to, Maureen?
Yeah.
In other words,
That's
how do you
that is,
solve this for M? What would M be equal to? What do I do to get M? I'd have to subtract 3 from both sides, right? So M would be J, that's what you were telling me before, minus 3, right?
mhm.
If J is M plus 3, right here, And I'll just say subtract 3 from both sides. Subtract 3 from both sides. And that's how we get m equal j minus 3. Now, that means for m, we could put j minus 3, right? So we can substitute, let's take this equation and substitute for mj minus 3. So I'll just take this equation.
Oh,
Remember, Maureen, you were telling me
okay.
that before. You were kind of jumping ahead of yourself, though. Right? Okay. So let's just put that equation here. And substitute
Where? 15.
for m j minus 3, because that's what m is equal to, j minus 3. So we're going to put that in this equation. So let's just take this equation and put what we just said. Okay. Now for m, we want to put j minus 3, right? So j minus 3. Now we just have the one unknown, and that unknown is j, right? But how much are they making per hour?
$8.
$8. So they making $8, both making $8 an hour. So to get that 120, we have to multiply that $8 an hour by each person's number of hours, right? So we'd have 8, and then we have to multiply this j minus 3 by 8.
24.
Okay, this is the 8. Let's take the 8 is multiplied by the j minus 3. Okay. Okay, because we know how much they made total. We know the relationship between the hours they worked, but we need to find how many hours J worked. And we can solve that by using the amount they made per hour. And that's why we have the $8. $8 times J's hours plus $8 times May's hours is equal to a total of $120. Now, let's do what it says here. Okay, Mercedes, what's 8 times J minus 3?
That would be 8 times, sorry. 8 times 8.
No,
That'll
what
be
would be
64.
no, what would be 8
Minus
times,
3.
we're doing the parentheses. So 8 times J
Okay.
is what?
8 times J is 8J or
That's
J8.
right. 8. No, we always put the coefficient first. So 8J. And what's 8 times a minus 3?
That's 24.
Plus or minus?
Minus.
That's right. Very good. Minus 24. Okay. So now what do we do next? We've got
We are going to
8J plus 8J minus 24 equal 120. What do we do next?
we are going to add on both sides.
No, let's combine these terms. These are
8,
like terms. What's
8.
8J plus 6? 8J
Yeah.
plus 8J.
That will be 16J
That's right. You just add the coefficients. 16J minus 24
plus minus
equal
24.
120. Now, what do I do next?
We are going to take away 24 on both sides.
Why are you
No,
taking
see,
away? You do the
oh, sorry.
option. You're taking away here. That's the
Uh,
option to
um,
take away.
no, add
That's it. Very good. Add 24 to both sides. Okay. And if
Right.
you do that, what do you get? What do you get,
If
Mercedes? Add
I
24
get
to both sides.
140.
And I'm adding 24 on both sides. Okay. And that would be plus.
Okay, so
What do I get on the left side?
a 0.
Plus what?
So plus 1. We have to.
Well, minus 24 plus 24 is 0. But what's left?
That's what I'm getting, the 16J
That's it. 16J.
plus 6.
Very good.
16J plus
No, 16J. And 120 plus 24 is what?
144.
That's it. Okay. 144. And what do I do next? I want to solve for J.
You're gonna take away J
No, no
on both
takeaway.
sides.
Nope.
Uh-oh.
16J is a multiplication. What's the
Oh,
opposite of
I get lost
multiplication?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, see, 16J means 16
divide.
times J. So what is it? Go ahead, Mercedes, you're saying it. You were
You
saying
say
it.
16 times J.
That's a multiplication.
Oh, I will say
So what would I
I get
do?
lost here again.
No, 16J is a multiplication. All right. Now to solve for J, you have to do the
Yes.
opposite of multiplication, which is what? Mercedes, what's the opposite?
Subtraction.
No, addition, subtraction are pairs. Multiplication and division are pairs. So opposite
Division.
of multiplication is
Yes.
division. So what would I divide both sides by?
Division.
Right. So what would I
By
divide by?
16.
Yes, right. Very good. Divide both sides by 16. And what do I get for J? What would this be equal to?
For J. Oh Lord, my battery going down. Can you hold it, miss? I'm just plugging this thing. I forgot to plug my. I've got to charge it. 1 second. I do it right now before it got off.
Divide both sides. Let's put B.
All right.
So let's just put 16 underneath. Oh, okay. And
Okay, I'm back.
okay. So what do I get on the left side? I'm going to
So
divide
I
both
got
sides by 16.
I got 0. I got
No,
0 by
not,
on
no,
the
not
left side.
0. 16 over 16 is, that's
J.
right, it's just J, okay. So this would be, the 0 is when you add a plus and a minus of the same. Okay, so this would be, okay. So that's right, now say you get J, and what's 144 divided by 16?
And J is equal to 9.00.
That's right, 9. Okay, now which answer was that 9? B, right?
B.
Okay, so that's answer B. So answer B. Okay. So you had a couple of things going on here. You had amount that they make per hour, and then you had total amount that the two made, Josh and May. But you didn't know how many hours they worked, but you knew the relationship between the hours. You knew that May plus 3, May hours plus 3 was equal to Josh's hour. So we could use that plus the $8 that they made per hour, set it equal to 120, because that's an amount. To get an amount, we have to multiply amount they make per hour times the number of hours they work. Okay, so Josh works 9 hours. How would you find how many hours May work, Maureen?
Oh, there you go. Oh,
Hmm?
let's see. How many hours has May work?
What would be the easiest way to find how many hours May worked? We know Josh worked 9 hours. We know how much they make an hour. We know what they made together. Anybody want to tell me?
What if he worked 9 more hours than her?
No, he didn't work 9 more hours. He worked 9 hours.
Okay.
Mercedes, you got any ideas? How would you find how many
No, Miss Kate,
hours May worked? That's the question I'm asking you.
I think you did
How
the
many
opposite of
hours
many.
did May work?
Reading again.
Okay, how many hours did May work? Now,
15 hours?
May work 3 hours more, Miss. Let me see. Joshua. They each work. Josh worked 3 hours more. Okay. So Miss, you have to do subtract.
okay, you'd have what?
The subtract 3 hours out of what the 9. I would say May work 6 hours.
Okay, that's right. 9 minus 3 equal 6. That's how many hours, because Josh worked 9, but he worked 3 hours more than May. So if you
Hours
subtract the 3
more.
from it,
Oh, wow.
right?
Like
You got it, Maureen?
Yeah.
6
Yeah.
hours. Now,
Yeah.
how could you get that total of 120?
Okay.
You're gonna what did you get it
How
again?
many? Oh, so if it's 15
How
now.
could you get the $120? Anybody want to tell me?
And then try to figure it out now.
You must-
What would you do?
Y-
You know how much they made per hour. Now you know how many hours they worked. How do you get the 120?
multiply.
Yep, you
One
multiply
sec, Miss.
what? You multiply what,
Um,
Mercedes?
multiply the hours.
That's right. You're right. The hours time what? The pay per hour. So what would that
Yes,
look
Miss.
like? What would that look like for May? It would be 8 times what?
It takes 3 hours.
No, that's 3 hours more. We said May worked 6 hours. So that would be 8 times 6. That would be for May. What would it be for Josh?
8 times 6 is 54.
And Josh, we said worked 9
times-
hours. So that would be 8 times what?
8 times 9.
That's right. 8
9.
times 9.
It's 72.
Okay. Now, does that give you 120?
No, Miss.
72
48 plus.
and 72.
And what's that equal to?
120.
120. That's it. So we know it's correct. The amount they made per hour times the hours they work. And if you 8 times 6 plus, this should be a plus. 8 times 6 plus 8 times 9. The pay, they made the same pay. So 8 times the 6 hours that May work plus 8 times the 9 hours that
Wait, like
Josh
he wrote,
worked, and add those up, you get the total they earned, $120.
okay.
Questions?
Okay, so Josh is 72 while May is 48, miss, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
May made $48. Josh made $72. Between them, they made $120.
Got
Okay. All right.
Got it.
Okay. You got it? All right.
Yes, miss.
I
Thank
think
you.
we're ready to go to your inequalities. I think that was the last one. Just make sure. Yeah. That's the last one. Okay. Now we are ready to go to your inequalities quiz. Okay. And we'll use the remaining time for you to work on it. You can text me or email me the answers. This is the inequality quiz. There are 6 questions and 1 bonus question. I gave you the symbols at the top: greater than, less than, greater than or equal, less than or equal. Okay. So work on these. And you can text me the answers or email me the answers. Now, if you tend to talk out loud, make sure you mute yourself so you don't disturb your classmates.